This guy had clocks on every square inch of the wall, and they were all going at the same time. It was like,
You got in perfect unison.
dude, it was insane. So he left me there for about 7 minutes while he was upstairs. So
Oh,
I'm literally sitting in this chair, this moldy basement.
Bro's putting you in a trance.
He's trying to hypnotize you, bro.
Like, I'm looking around, and the next thing I look, and I see all these like little black figures that are like all around because like the lights are like dim, and there were all these like mannequins.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another special episode of Roof Talk. Today we got a fella actually went to high school with this man. We got Mr. Kaleb Webb.
Absolutely.
Welcome on, brother. And it's an honor. I know when we started talking and doing Roof Talk, you were one of the first names that kind of got thrown out.
Yep.
We had a couple, but you were definitely at the top of the list. And we try to, our super special guest, we try to space you guys out a little bit.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
But anyways, we can dive straight into some stuff here.
Yeah.
So I guess on the shorthand, tell us about yourself and then a little bit about, give us a teaser on some of the stuff you're working on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, Anthony and Grant, thank you guys for welcoming me here on the podcast. Obviously, for me, I've had a massive entrepreneurial journey, but I've had a lot of setbacks. So for me, I'm working on multiple businesses. We have a restaurant, I have a window cleaning company, solar business, and obviously my music and different other suits and hats. But again, there's moving pieces in all parameters. It's just, I'm going to share a little bit of the nitty gritty behind each individual thing, and hopefully somebody will be inspired today.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's what we do. Our whole goal here is to obviously bring value to our listeners, and then inspire other people that maybe want to get into entrepreneurial space.
Yeah.
Tongue tied there a little bit.
All good.
But yeah, give them some something, some insight on what it takes to run a business. And and we always ask people, if they watch this podcast and they feel inspired or they have questions, reach out to us, reach out to people like yourself, and we're always more than willing. And I know you definitely are.
Yeah.
More than willing to help point people in the right path. So
yeah.
So that's our goal here today. So you have, like you said, you have several businesses.
Yeah.
What kind of ties all that together? Because you have some stuff that ties together, I think, a little bit on paper, and some stuff maybe not. So how do you what makes the full circle for you?
I would say the biggest thing is especially in creativeness and entrepreneurship, we all kind of go through different phases where we try to figure out where we sit or where we feel like we're valued.
Yeah.
For me, I felt like I was missing the mark a lot when it came to SOPs, KPIs, things that for the business are more kind of like the detailed breakdowns, like the numericals and all the data.
Right.
For me, it didn't feel like home. For me, the place that felt comfortable was creativeness, leadership, and obviously developing others. So skill sets, all of it kind of came hand in hand. But for me, I had to fail miserably. There was multiple times in my life where I had to sit back and say, man, I am not good at this, and I really need help in this aspect. So leaning on those who had those strengths while I got to sit in my sphere of influence compared to trying to wear a hat that I was not meant to wear. So for me, it was a lot of heartbreak because I had to figure that out very quickly, where I remember multiple times, and I kid you not, like just to be raw and vulnerable, I would sit and I would go home and I would literally get on Google and I would type in, am I fit to be an entrepreneur? Am I fit to be a business leader?
Right.
Am I fit to do these things? And I had to fall and fail miserably, but it wasn't until I finally figured out my identity of who I was, being an entrepreneur, being creative, to find that outlet, because now it's my greatest strength.
Yeah. And it's so wild that you said figuring out who you were at churches. I go to LaCroix, and last Sunday, our preacher talked about like finding out who you truly are and like diving deep into that.
Yeah.
Like
Ephesians will help you with that.
That was yeah. So it was kind of crazy you just said that though, because I was like, man, I just listened to that. I feel like
Yeah.
So you said your path to like becoming an entrepreneur wasn't easy. You failed forward.
Oh my
like
gosh.
It's always a learning experience.
We talk about that a lot.
Yeah,
failing forward.
You had a lot of highs and lows, and breaking through barriers and things like that. What made you want to become an entrepreneur?
Well, that's a really good question. Being an entrepreneur simply just means creative, being able to create something while other people are inspired by it. Yes, there may be a numerical context of receiving something like funds or financing or cash, which obviously we need to survive, right? Yeah. But for entrepreneurship, honestly, it's a form of leadership that's hidden within business.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're inspiring others. You're creating something, an outlet of expression that other people say, hey, I want what you have.
Yeah.
And I've always loved that.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I did this, the reason why entrepreneur speaks really heavily into my heart is because I grew up feeling like I wasn't valued.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough.
Yeah.
You know, and just to be vulnerable, there were times where I felt like, hey, man, maybe I'm not suited to even be here on this earth.
Wow.
So finding that,
Yeah.
it gives you purpose.
Yeah.
And I feel like with entrepreneurship, you know, sometimes you feel like you're in a different place because you're not meant to be in the same box that everybody else is.
Yeah.
I know when I was working 9 to 5 jobs and positions, and I did that for years, from bricklaying, powder coating, painting, digging graves. I mean, I've done it all, man. I didn't feel like I belonged.
Yeah.
So I always felt like I was outside of that box. And then when I finally started looking in the other direction of seeing other people getting out of the boat, that's where it inspired me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see other
So-
people start to become successful, and you're like, man, if they can do it,
Oh,
I
dude.
know in my head I can do it. I have a work ethic that can do it, and
100%.
you know, I'm just as creative or more creative. You know, so there's things that you can get there. Would you say that part of your success in entrepreneurship would come back to when you were in door-to-door sales?
Yes, 100%.
How did that shape out for you? I mean,
Wow.
How did that? Because a lot of sales is personality, being personal.
Yes.
Can you talk to somebody? And truthfully, we've had people that are just scared to talk. You know, and
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, what's that look like for you on your end? How did that really help you?
Yeah, so door-to-door sales is almost the equivalent. They actually have it. They did a study on this where if a individual is in door-to-door sales, it is almost the equivalent of 1 year. If they're in door-to-door sales, almost equivalent of being in school for 4 years.
Wow.
In college.
Isn't that nuts?
And I'll tell you why. It's because you are developing yourself. You're being rejected constantly.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I mean, we'll get into it, but I have so many stories on this. But, you know, for me, the door-to-door experience, I could say there has been so many heavy moments, but there's been so many bright moments to where I knew I took away something.
Yeah.
Rather it be knocking a door and seeing an individual who just needed a conversation and breaking down, you know, crying and saying, hey, thank you for just talking to me. Yeah, you may have a product or whatever as far as what you're selling, but I knew for that moment in time, if I wasn't there on that door at that time, that person may have given up
Yeah.
or they may have let go. And I've also had on the other paradigm where I've had guns pointed at me and people literally have thrown me off their doorstep.
Yeah.
I had a rep scissor kicked in Arkansas.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it just happens. And, you know, like ultimately, door to door taught me a lot. But most importantly, it taught me about perseverance of the heart because people who do it, it is not easy.
No, you're told no way more than you are yes.
Yeah.
Like, and you got to be okay with being told no.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you
you
got to
know.
think about it. If you, as a person, as an individual, whoever's watching this, if you could take just say a product, anything, even this cup here, and can you go to 5 different doors and say, you need this cup of water? And then you figure out, they tell you no, they tell you no, they tell you no. And then you get one of them that says, you know what? I might want that cup of water for X.
Yeah.
There's a sliver of hope. And I think that's why the door-to-door space, people make the kind of income they're willing to make,
Yeah.
and we'll get into that.
Yep.
But also too, it's such a persevering thing because door-to-door space is not easy for anybody.
It's
and I've
not.
been doing it for years. So,
What do you remember your first big win?
oh yeah, my first big
Those kind of
win-
stick with you
Yeah.
usually.
dude. Yeah,
The losses did too.
Yeah.
The big
The
losses,
losses did
the
too,
big
yeah.
losses do.
On
But
the doors?
but the win, yeah.
Yeah, on the doors, I would definitely say a huge, massive win I had. I actually sold like 3 clients in like one day because of one interaction.
Wow.
And it was really good because, you know, in my space, especially in the solar space door to door, you know, there's weeks that you don't get anything. And then there's days that you get like a lot, you know, and it's just kind of, you have to ride the highs. But then when you finally figure it out, it lands. But I remember the biggest win that I had, I mean, I made right around close to about 35,000 in commissions in one day. And that it was life changing.
You heard it
Isn't
here
that crazy?
first.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So people always, you know, go into sales obviously to make money, but it's funny. It's just like people don't realize that. I guess that you can actually make that kind of money in sales.
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
you know, you always hear about the big jobs when you're growing up, like pharma or medical device, like all these big paying jobs, right? But
Yeah.
who would ever thought solar or roofing or any of that?
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah,
can
it's
do
a very
do the
lucrative
same,
space,
you know?
but what I caution people, because some people get and I know I had some questions later on, but
100%.
some people get blinded by, you hear a story like that and like, oh, 35 grand in one day, I want to go do that.
Oh yeah.
But what they don't see is all the no's.
The back end work.
And the gun,
You
and
don't see-
scissor kick. and-
You don't see the reps surviving on ramen noodles and hopes and prayers, you know,
Yeah.
like, and that's the thing is like with the door-to-door space, yes, it has its highs and lows, but ultimately it gains perspective because there are so many people that I believe wholeheartedly, if you take a kid freshly out of high school and he says, I want to do something great with my life, I would say, look, you don't have any money. What I love about the door-to-door space, I've been taught, you put me anywhere in the United States and I have a product, I can go door to door and I can make money for my family.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And now I can implement and teach other people how to do that. And that's where I've seen 18-year-olds make over $200,000 in 1 year.
Yeah.
And I've also seen other people where they come back and they didn't make it
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they didn't have that persevering spirit or heart.
Yep.
Sure, yeah.
So you talk about, being a leader, and you see yourself as a builder of a culture and
Yes.
things like that. Kind of go into that, I've heard your your blitzes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for the people watching, talk to us a little bit about what it means to you to be a leader and how you lead.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think you do a great job of it.
I
so.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, man, I don't. In some areas, I
Yeah.
feel like I fail miserably. And that's
I
just
mean,
me being
just for
vulnerable.
example, like when we did role playing here with you that day, like your pitch was like
Yeah.
immaculate. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow,
Yeah.
like, that's good.
It takes
So,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're
You know.
not, our company traditionally at Daniels, we're not, we just started kind of dabbling in the door-to-door stuff.
Oh,
We've
100%.
been solely residential. People call us. We spend massive amounts of money on marketing. Obviously, we get referrals and things like that too because
Yeah.
we do so much business. But the door-to-door stuff is real new to us.
Yeah.
And that is something, when we saw your journey, we were like, hey, these guys are doing it, and we knew we could learn some stuff from you in that space.
Yeah.
So we saw you as kind of a leader in that space for sure, and I still do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure,
absolutely.
especially in that. But kind
I
of,
appreciate it. So you're talking about skills as far as the
yeah,
leadership.
yeah. I mean,
So
to you, like, what's that mean to you?
yeah, man, it means a lot. That's a heavy word.
Yeah.
Because leadership is just influence behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I have learned, especially because in my skill set and traits, there is a place and position where some people, where they feel like their identity is within how people view them in their leadership. And sometimes they glorify that and they sit on that hill.
Yeah.
And I did that for years. And there was also times where I'd look down that hill and I would see other people going after me, trying to get that same spot. And there was a resentment in my heart because I felt like I need to be up here. They don't need to be anywhere close. But it wasn't until surrendering that path. So leadership to me is it not only is it influence, but it's also surrender.
Yeah.
Because true leadership is defined by the people you surround yourself with, and iron sharpens iron at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're only as strong as the people you surround yourself with. So true leadership is obviously, helping those around you, lifting them up.
Yeah.
But, John C. Maxwell, 21 Immutable Laws of Leadership, The Law of Attraction, which that's a great book if anybody is focused on leadership. Law of attraction is very easy. You attract people on what you become and what's natural to you.
Yep.
So for me, leadership is building people up. And that definition of leadership is just expression of, hey, you're in a place. Let me teach you of how I made it out. And let me show you an example of how you can stay out of there, but also become the best version of yourself.
Yeah. I think that speaks a lot. I mean, we talk about it all the time, like our culture. I think culture is just a huge thing, and your closest friend group and who you surround yourself with at the end of the day, if you're the poorest person in a room, eventually you're not going to be the poorest person anymore. I mean, you're going to, you're going to start becoming wealthy and doing things that other people who are ahead of you do. So like, it's like we all try to surround ourselves with people who do better than us.
100%.
I mean, I think if you're not doing that, maybe take a chance at it. Like go find somebody who's smarter than you or knows more than you and just listen.
Oh, I can't tell
and
you.
listen to people.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
hide your pride if you think,
Hide your pride.
don't let that get in the way and just be like, look, I don't know. I need help. Teach me. And just learn. Cause I mean, that's huge.
Well, I mean, for instance, just to give a massive shout out, Trevor, if you listen to this, love you, buddy. Me and him, we work very well together because I'm very creative and visionary while he is very admin orientated.
Yeah.
And I tried to wear that hat of admintation for so long.
Yeah.
And it was depleting. It was hard on me. I felt like it wasn't natural. I didn't feel like it was in my zone, but you get me in a creative space where I can just be a brand and influence, boy, howdy, we'll take it. But again, you're absolutely right. Leaning on those that have strengths and weaknesses. And that's a huge definition of leadership.
Yeah. And I think that's super powerful because, and especially yes, you have to lean on others. And then I know you touched on like the financial side too,
Yes.
and like your position as well.
Yes.
And sometimes as a leader, you have to be like, if you don't get excited when your team, like, say for instance, if you had a rep that made more money than you, like you should get excited about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have times where I see our guys some weeks, and I'll give them crap a little bit, but I have seen times where our reps will make more money than I do in that particular week or whatever. And I'm just like, a small piece of me, that little negative side, I'm like, dang, what the heck? Like I should be, like I'm at the top of the pile here and I'm making less money. What the heck? But I think you got to get in a position where you're okay with that.
Yeah.
And you can give people the tools to do better. And then the whole team gets to do better.
You got to celebrate the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
And I feel like leadership sometimes, if they get stuck in one mindset and one key, you forget that there is a whole different paradigm of people that have different feelings and emotions and expressions. And you can leave those people behind sometimes.
Yeah.
And some of them, it may be their best moment yet. And if you don't celebrate that win because you're stuck in your own self, I mean, that could be devastating to them. Yeah.
I think it changes people's lives too. Like, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's, I don't know. It's nice to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go from the leadership, because you've been a leader, for a while.
All my life.
And I want to, talk, I want to talk solar a little bit.
Yeah. Let's go.
The solar industry is something that I've had personal experiences with.
Yes.
As a consumer as well.
Absolutely.
And I've had a negative experience on my own for various reasons, but it's obviously a very fast growing industry.
100%.
There's a lot of money in the solar industry. But I see, obviously our government has adopted a lot of solar. I see solar fields going up all over the place.
Yes.
So obviously there's something to that. There's value there. But from the consumer standpoint, you see all this stuff, right? You see there's like negative connotations. You see companies popping up. You see companies going under. You see some people doing really well. Some people falling flat. Companies going bankrupt. You see stuff like that. So as a consumer, you get a little nervous, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And we're in a space to where, obviously it's a good, we feel that it is a good thing if it's handled appropriately.
Yes.
So I want to ask some questions surrounding that and see, kind of get your take on some of that stuff. So I guess it's a little spicy, but let's just, kind of get right into it. Is solar legitimate or is solar a scam?
Yes. Solar is legitimate in some spaces depending on the price per kilowatt and what customers are dealing with. In certain states, it is very lucrative for the customer. If they have TPO markets, which are third-party ownership, normally 9 times out of 10, it makes complete sense. You're cutting bills in half, if not more. However, you have lone states such as Missouri and different places where you're not saving money off the bat. So you're pretty much selling the experience of predictability, knowing what their monthly payments are going to be.
Yeah.
So where the government has shifted and changed direction is we have the beautiful big bill, which was passed, which means solar tax credits are no longer going to be able to be applicable for homeowners as of December 15th.
That's a big hit.
That's a huge hit.
Because I did, even though my solar experience wasn't necessarily the best, and that was on me as a consumer, I chose the wrong company to do the install and stuff. But I did get that tax credit, which was kind of nice. Yeah. Especially as a business owner, that tax credit helped me a lot.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's, unfortunate. I'm sure, they'll come back around, and I bet they'll probably implement stuff like that.
That's kind of what we're thinking. But as far as from a position, I would say there are lone states right now that it really doesn't make sense. Now, I have homeowners I've served and helped here in Missouri that have had great experiences.
Yeah.
But moving forward, I believe it's a moving target. And right now, that's why I personally sell in New York, California, Michigan, and other places that adopted in Illinois for TPO products. All we're doing is taking a bill, and we're trying to cut that thing down as much as possible by giving them a certain price per kilowatt instead of having financing attached where they have to worry about paying back tax incentives. So to answer your question, absolutely. I would say the pros and cons there's a lot of money in the industry. And unfortunately, that brings out wolves, and it brings out the good, and it brings out really bad people.
Yeah, money in any industry can do that.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure, like, when you're leading and you're in this industry, that you're coming from the right place.
100%, yeah.
And, that you're trying to help, actually help the individual and not just stuff your pockets. I think that's
for
super
me,
important.
just to kind of give that, just expressive, like, I'm going to be vulnerable with you. Like, I thought I was working with a great company that had my heart and best intention. And, I had to learn very fast that there is a very quick mentality of, hey, if you do not provide, you do not matter.
Yeah, if you don't hit your goals, you're gone.
You're gone, right?
So
And having to put other people into that cadence, which if you listen to this, I apologize, because there was a lot of downfalls that happened within that. There's a lot of relationships that I lost, friends and families that I will not be able to talk to, or I try to talk to again. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things that I could not control. And because of those experiences, it allowed me to dive really deep and to say, enough is enough. I see where the money's going. I see where the problem is, and I'm going to focus in on the results that matter.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, that's
yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah.
what, you've been in the trenches and you've kind of been lower level, and I know you've led
Yeah.
your own teams. What do you think causes individuals, because you've been in a lot of positions, what do you think causes the consumer to, have the mixed feelings
Oh, yeah.
with solar?
Communication. I believe there's a lot of sales reps, especially when you're put in a position, just put the hat on for a second. You have a family to feed, you have a wife and a kid that needs you, and you just took a position to where it is 100% commission.
yeah,
You're going to get to a place where, yes, that hat of doing what you feel is right, you're going to be riding that fence for a while, but what happens when the bills come?
yeah,
What happens when your leader says, hey, we got to let you go?
Yeah.
You get desperate.
Yeah.
And that's where communication falls short, because reps, they will do everything and anything to survive.
yeah.
And I've seen that. And
That's
I know
human
that.
nature.
It's
Yeah.
human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fight or flight mentality and response. And unfortunately, yes, communication with the customer, and especially if they don't understand the product and how it operates, sometimes people will cut corners to get the sale.
Yeah. And we see that even in the roofing space too.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say other industries as well.
Yeah.
And that's why we pride ourselves on, not necessarily being pushy, and then even at, we don't want to cut corners on our installs. Like, we're not going to come in and give somebody a cheaper price and take away all the stuff that their roof needs. So, whenever we give out our price, sometimes it includes things that we deem to be super appropriate for their roof,
Yes.
for the individual. And sometimes price is a factor, and you have to explain to them,
We can take
these are the
this
things
away.
these are the things we need to do to give you the best product possible.
Yes.
Now, if you want to skimp a little bit, that's up to the customer. But we've had times where we walk away from that deal too.
Yeah.
Because we're like, hey, we're not willing to damage our integrity or do the wrong thing here.
Yeah.
Just trying to save or win a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So I think that's super, super important to keep that integrity, when
Yeah.
you're out here selling to people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
And I would add to that. So within the sales space, I mean, you're right. There's an immense amount of pressure, not only from your demand, but also the demand of those that are high above you.
oh, yeah.
So being aligned with a business that will put the customer first is key. And that's what I had to learn because I did not do that.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's a lot of relationships that were lost.
Yeah.
But learning from those mistakes, we were able to become better and able to adapt and obviously create a path that is far further than where we would have been. And we wouldn't have been there if we didn't go through that ourselves.
Yeah.
So,
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to name names or anything, but obviously you've alluded to working with the company, and there were some issues there.
yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the nitty gritty? Like, what were those issues that you saw, and how did that kind of all unfold and
Yeah.
lead you to where, because you own a different company now, and you can.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're with a different company. Like I said, don't have to name names.
Yep.
Some stuff happened. So you want to talk about that a little bit, and then how that led you to where you are now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it
So-
might open some eyes for people who are thinking about getting to this space.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
um,
it truly might.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it might save them heartbreak.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. For me, my journey began because again, I've been doing this for a while now, and the very first interaction I had with the company, I would definitely say it was. They promised a lot of expectations, and they did fulfill a lot of those. I was able to sit in rooms with people of great influence, and I mean people that were connected with Elon Musk, people
Oh, that's
that
awesome.
have been connected with people that run the energy sector. And I remember in multiple meetings sitting back thinking like, whoa, like I'm literally in a place that I should not be.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that and taking a gamble on myself, I was flying left and right all around the United States. But I didn't realize the expense of like, there is a heavy ecosystem in sales, especially if you are getting into this, there is always somebody above that is moving the needle. And sometimes it may not be for your best interest.
Yeah.
That's why you have to dive deep. You have to follow your heart and follow what that is, because fruit will always follow fruit. And for me, I had golden handcuffs. I was in a position to where I was making very good money,
Yeah.
you know, and I knew that I couldn't let that go
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of honestly where I came from.
Well, yeah, you
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
wife
You know?
and kids, and you don't want to. We all grew up in a small town.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
it's beyond that.
Yeah.
I mean, I look down, I mean, about 4 or 5 houses down here, you know, me and my wife in the very beginning of our entrepreneurial journey where we had to file bankruptcy. And I remember very vividly them saying, "Hey, we're taking your house."
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is a heavy pill to swallow, especially when you felt like, "Hey, I did everything I could." And honestly, if it wasn't, you know, for people around us that rallied around us during that time, like I remember, I felt like I was absolutely pathetic. I'm like, I will do whatever it takes for my family.
Yeah.
And I remember I was literally picking sticks up out of yards and I was doing painting and all these side jobs, and it still was not enough. So when I got into sales and I seen the commissions that was had, I knew, wow, my family will never suffer again.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I'm going to bring them up to rise and to be never to see that side of the fence.
Yeah.
And ultimately, for me, I had a company that, you know, and there was great experiences, but there was also really heavy ones where ultimately when the value of what I was bringing to the table and a constant sacrifice, when I wasn't bringing that value, when I felt like I was heard, felt like I was respected, then ultimately they just shut their door. And it was almost like I wasn't even in the equation. That
Yeah.
was hard
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
You've done so much.
Yeah, I
Yes.
remember you telling me a story, you know, because you saw some things happening. You know, obviously you led a team and you had some massive commissions on the line.
yes.
Yeah.
How much money do you think was kind of left on the table after you severed your relationship?
For me personally,
Just maybe as your whole team.
oh man, probably well over, probably I'd say 300,
Yeah.
345,000.
I remember you saying that. You're like, man, that's a hard place as a leader.
Yeah.
Like you have all these people underneath you that are relying, depending on you.
Yeah.
And obviously you're depending on your leaders.
Yes.
And then you go to them and you're like, hey, my reps aren't getting their commissions.
Yeah.
I'm sure that takes a pretty big toll on
Oh,
you.
it is.
Yeah.
Because that would destroy me if I
Oh, dude.
if I couldn't make true on those promises.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Yeah,
yeah.
because when you're in a position, because they will do whatever it takes to promise, hey, like you're going to be getting what you're getting, and then behind the scenes, you know, ultimately you are not only their families failing, they're losing their cars, they're losing their houses, and there's nothing you can do about it. It is one of the worst experiences to go through.
Yeah.
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 And it's one of those deals like when you, especially when you come from a poor background,
Mm-hmm.
you get to a position like yourself where you're making, you know, whatever the dollar amount is, you know, $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
You get to that position where you're like, hey, I'm making $500,000 a year, and then you see some things happening, maybe that you don't truly align with.
Yeah.
I could see that being really hard to step away from that.
Oh, it is.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
when because now you filed bankruptcy.
Yeah.
But now you went from that to, you know, I'm making $500,000 or whatever the dollar. I know we've talked a little
Yeah.
bit, and you can share what you want on that. But
Yeah.
I'm just throwing a random number out for the people at
It was
home.
close. It was close. to
So
that,
I knew you were doing very well.
Yeah.
But then you get to a position where like, hey, some things, you know, ethically, maybe you don't align with it. You have some of your people getting, you know, some of your reps that
Yeah.
aren't getting taken care of properly, and you had to step away from that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a hard decision.
Oh,
to
it
make.
was very hard. I
yeah.
mean, because it was almost like you gotta put yourself in that perspective of having nothing and then getting it all back, and then knowing that you're slowly going back to where you were.
Yeah, you're like, oh no, we're back to square one.
Yeah,
Here.
that was devastating.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like there was a lot of moving pieces that were happening during that time of shift. You know, I remember very clearly me and my wife, we bought our dream home during that time of having to step down. And that was a big commitment, you know, knowing, wow, we just got our dream home. And then, you know, that was almost $500,000, you know, there. And it's like, okay, well, we have to pay bills.
Yeah.
And no longer are we getting the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 checks, you know, every
Yeah.
2 weeks. Like, this is crazy, right? We got to
Yeah.
dial it in. And, you know, there was a really heavy moment there because it was like kind of for me, I kind of got to see I don't know, it was just like I got to step back and look at the whole view. And for me, there was a lot of money to be had, but I also seen where my heart was drifting towards.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I look back and I see my family, which I didn't get to see my daughter pretty much grow up, my daughter Veda, because daddy was always on blitzes. Daddy was always flying around. Daddy was always in meetings. And there was a part that I will never get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
There's a
all of us being fathers, that's hard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, when
Yeah, 'cause
that feeling, it's like you're stuck between providing for your family or, you know, watching them grow up, and
Yeah.
it's just like you know, as the man, you're like, well, my responsibility is to make sure that my family's taken care of.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is.
that's rough.
Yeah.
It's a severe. You know, we're called to provide. We're called to protect our families, and it's a challenge. It really is because I have days, especially when I first started out here. When I bought into the company, I was working 16, 18-hour days, like literally 16 or 18-hour days every single day.
Yep.
And it got to a point where it's like, hey, we're doing all this stuff. We bought the nice house. We did all these things. Then you have the pressure to keep paying for that stuff.
Oh, dude.
So then you like have to keep grinding, and then your kids are getting older, and you get the internal pressure of like, man, I want to be there with my this money is great, and being able to provide and give opportunity is great, but I want to be there for my family too. So like you said, it's very a double-edged sword, and I don't know if there's like a perfect solution for that. Other than trying to integrate the two lives together.
What I've noticed is, especially in the door-to-door space, is there is not many leaders who still have their families at the end.
Yeah, and that's rough.
Divorce rates are extremely high in the door-to-door space.
I think at the end of the day, I mean, money's great and having nice things is great, but your family should always probably be right at the forefront.
If you're
I mean,
making,
like, you know,
if you're making $500,000 at the end of the year, the next you have just an empty house to come to.
Yeah, it's not
well, I mean, what's the point?
You know, we just had this. We actually just had this conversation on the phone yesterday, the day before.
Yesterday.
And we were talking about the future and stuff, and planning for have a bigger team and hitting doors and things like that.
Yeah.
And we were trying to figure out who the ideal candidates are for that.
Yeah.
And and we were talking, because we. Obviously, if you get someone older, like in their 30s, it's like they're more mature and things like that.
Yeah.
But then they have families and they have children. And really, the ideal candidate, I think, to hit doors heavily is probably somebody that's coming out of high school, 19 to like 25, 26 years old, where you maybe don't have, you could maybe have a wife or something or a girlfriend, but maybe you don't have kids yet. Like, that's your time to
oh, dude,
if you're thinking about getting into sales and you want to go hit doors or something, hit it hard for like a decade. Come out of high school and hit the ground running. And then get yourself into like a leadership role.
Yes.
To where you can maybe step out of the doors a little bit. That would be my advice.
I mean, and then take our advice. Don't go blow all your money at a young age.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Stack that back, invest in the things.
Yeah.
Talk with a financial advisor, talk with business owners. Do something rather than just alcohol and women.
Oh, yeah.
The college route.
Some of the best candidates for the door-to-door space are those broccoli-headed son of a guns that wear their hats up like this and have long socks. I don't know what it is.
It's Napoleon Dynamite.
I don't know what it is.
That's the
about
new
those
age.
guys. But they have this weird grit where they don't care about anyone or anything. But then it's so funny because as they get older and then they start seeing the bigger picture, it's almost like these scales fall from their eyes and they become mature and they're able to figure it out. But it's through the failing forward. Every door.
We've talked failing. We've had a lot of entrepreneurs on the show already.
Yeah.
And failing forward is always, I think it's been brought up almost
It's a
every
very
show.
common thing.
New podcast name.
Yeah.
Failing forward.
It's very
it's super
common.
important because a lot of people can take failure and they'll quit.
Oh, dude.
And it's important to know, if you're at home listening, if you fail, don't just get down on yourself.
Yeah.
That is part of the process.
Dude, no.
And if you're not failing, you're not doing enough.
Oh, my gosh.
I will tell you that. If everything's going well in your life, you're probably just idling and
you're
not
not
really
pushing
getting where you
hard
need to be.
No, man.
Oh,
That's the whole process, man. Like, that's what I was thinking a lot just kind of about this show, because I was like, how can I inspire people or how can I motivate? Because that's my heart. There are so many people right now that are absolutely miserable at what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're waking up, they're clocking in, and they're saying, this is it. And, I got to keep fighting until retirement.
Yeah.
That's not life. We have one opportunity to live it.
Yeah.
And the entrepreneur journey is one of the hardest journeys, but it's also the most rewarding.
I was going to say it's very rewarding.
Because you can walk in somebody else's shadow or you can cast your own.
Yeah.
And I think for me, like that was a big pivotal moment for me when I felt like I was just like in this weird circle of like, I don't belong, I don't fit, I don't matter. I know I'm creative, I know I'm expressive, but I don't have the funds to reach it. How do I do this? And I didn't understand what was going on. And the unsettling was natural because I was never meant to be in a box. I was always meant to be outside of it.
Yeah.
So I hope if somebody is listening to this and you do have that creative heart, just remember Deuteronomy 8:18, it's the Lord thy God who gives the ability to establish wealth to confirm his covenant. We are creative beings. We have creative influence, but most importantly, the design that we have is not to be normal. We're supposed to be set apart. Right. So don't you dare settle. You're worth more than that. And for those that are miserable right now, wake up.
And bet on yourself.
Yeah. do it.
Bet on yourself and surround yourself with people who can help you and do it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
one thing I'll
absolutely.
say is I think it's hard, a little hard, because when you go through school, like you're going like elementary through high school, right?
Mhm.
They don't teach you to be your own person.
No.
They don't
No.
teach you to run your own business.
No.
I mean, seriously, like all the groups that are formed.
Or in
like,
high, baby.
Say yeah. Shout out to Oran, but even the groups that are formed within like high school,
Like beta.
and, like
Yeah.
Like,
Like
all
that's a
that
business
stuff.
thing, right?
Yeah.
yeah, but even when it's business, it's cliquey and it's all about following the herd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about stepping outside and being creative. It's not about starting your own business. So I think you have to look within yourself a little bit there.
Yeah.
And tell yourself, I don't have to be the cool kid. I don't have to follow everything else everyone's doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have your own ideas, and even if other people, because even like our podcast, for instance, some people shot it down immediately, like that's silly, whatever, it's a waste of time. But we're creative people.
Yeah.
And we want to give back. And I'm like, you know what? Even though some people think the masses may say this isn't the right move for you,
Yeah.
but there's other people, the other creative type people that really see this and they're like, hey, we get value from that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll say, if you're ever feeling, even like your family or your friends might tell you your ideas aren't very great. If you feel called and you feel like you're passionate about something, I would say you should chase that.
100%.
And be careful with the school systems because they're not teaching that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told Anthony the other day, I think I was talking to J-Mac about it too. I was like, we should all like get together and like reach out to like a local high school or SEMO. SEMO would be
That'd
great.
be cool.
And go talk to the business kids that are wanting to
Oh,
become
yeah.
business majors and just be like, here's what it's really like, because I went to college, I was a business major, but it wasn't anything that I've learned since being in business or opening my own business or running it or managing it or any of it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, they teach you the bookwork stuff, right? But they don't
Which
teach
is
you
important, by the
It
way.
is.
'Cause I didn't know any of that when I was
I
coming
know.
in.
It is, but they don't teach you the
Same.
real life experiences, the nitty gritty of it, and it's just a learning experience. And I think it'd be nice to get back to like our college kids or local high schools that have an interest in that. You
Yeah,
know?
no.
I think it'd be cool to get a group of guys together and just go.
That would be cool.
I
and
think
I
it
know
would.
people, that have like that would be because you're absolutely right. And what's really interesting is if you look at any Instagram, like the kids now, like
Yeah.
they have such a heart and mentality for being separate
Yeah.
in their own identity. It is creating. I mean, some of these guys, man, they're waking up and they're making $80,000 just
yeah.
on a Shopify account,
It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
and it's
The
like
things that are happening.
I
out
tried
there.
that. Hey, you talking about failing, bro? I lost some money
Hey,
doing
what's
that.
Hey, I did too, bro.
I tried it. I tried
think
drop
every
shipping.
entrepreneur should start their own T-shirt business.
Yeah.
and just put it out there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you're absolutely right. I would definitely say, because Anthony, we grew up at the same cloth, as far as the same town. Like, brother, I was not the person who I am today in school.
Yeah.
I was very distant. People, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my identity. I just kind of just drifted. And there's so many times I think back, it's like if I can go back for who I am now, I probably would be the popular kid. I'd probably be the one that would be heard or the person that people cared about.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that way.
The problem is if you go back and you're in that position, you probably wouldn't be the person you are today.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
So that's the deal.
That's
I
what it
think
is.
those people that are like that and you feel like maybe you're a little out of place,
yeah.
if you channel that the right way, a lot of those people are the successful ones. They are the Elon Musk.
Yes.
They are the the leaders of Facebook. They are the leaders
Yep.
of our society.
Yeah.
So I think there's something for the people that feel like they're necessarily out of place. Maybe you are, and maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you're the dark horse, let's go. You're going to make a lot of money, but you're also going to fail at it. Come on, bro.
Let's go. So touching on some, I want to finish up on some solar a little bit because
Yeah.
we've talked some of the nasty stuff.
We have,
right?
yeah.
But I do want to touch because I still believe there's definitely a space for that,
Oh, yeah.
and that obviously something is going well there, or like here locally in Cape and around local, surrounding areas, we have massive solar fields going up right now.
Yep.
Down by Sykeston, I think
Delta.
down by Delta.
Yep.
I mean, they're doing acres upon
There's
acres
more
of solar
coming in
fields.
too, just so you know. Yeah.
So obviously the solar space is something our government believes in.
Yes.
It's, there's a lot of smarter people than us that are out there that are controlling this stuff, and
Yep.
there's value there.
Yep.
So where do you see the solar space going for the future? Like, what do you see on the horizon here?
So that's a really good question. And to be honest, there's a lot of moving pieces with it. So with the solar fields, a lot of it comes, I like to look at historical patterns. So you look at places like California, their price per kilowatt, which some people don't know what that is. It just means the price of power every time their meter spins, they're being, pretty much being charged.
Yeah.
They're at 45 cents per kilowatt in some areas. While right here we say, oh, our bills are high, and it's only 19 cents.
Oh wow.
So what happened with California and some of these other places is they were mandated to create power on site. They were doing solar fields. They were doing things to help alleviate grid pressure. But what they don't understand is that funding is coming directly from the consumers that are around them. So just like now, we've noticed an increase as far as our bills with Ameren and different
Yeah,
things.
because those projects
You have to fund them.
are a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. And
But there has to be some value there. Or they wouldn't do it.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, you look at the AI centers that they're talking about. I don't know if you guys look at that as far as the data mining and what they were talking about. Guys, it's astronomical how much power. Like the energy is only broken up in 4 sectors in the United States, which is crazy. But the biggest thing is the grid is so outdated. It is not prepared for all the electronics that we have moving forward. So the only way of doing it is creating renewable energy. So solar, it is going to be in high demand. Yes, there are shifts and changes politically, which is perfectly fine. But it is going to be used because you think about third world countries. What are they using to power their little shanties and things? They're using solar.
Yeah.
Why did Australia go 100% renewable? Well, that's because, there is a clear mandate by 2045, I believe it is, that Ameren has to be fully renewable by that time.
Gotcha. Did not know that.
Solar's not going away, but the policies are changing.
Yeah.
And that's where people, again, you're either in the boat or you're out. And that's why with California, it's good to look at a historical pattern because now TPO is the best option there, third-party ownership.
Yeah.
I believe moving forward, that's what's going to be allotted here in Missouri, and that's going to be a good thing because now we're able to take families that their average bills are $200, and now they're able to get solar without having to put any money up front and taking that bill to probably $85 a month, which is great.
Now, my question is, so the solar is, obviously when people put solar on their homes, it's tapped into the grid, right?
Yes.
Is there, now that, places like Ameren and, other
Municipalities.
municipalities,
Mhm.
goodness, I'm tongue-tied today. But now,
That's
now
also
that,
Ephesians.
yes. So now that companies like that are doing that, they're putting these massive solar fields. Do you
Yes.
think they're going to push regulations to push the consumer away from having their own solar?
Yes,
So that's the fear that I have
they do.
because obviously there's value there.
Yep. And there's
and,
money.
and there's money there.
Yep.
And if the consumers at home are saying, hey, I want to own my own power, I want to have a lower bill, who's that going to affect? It's going to affect our government leaders. It's
Yes.
going to affect our electric companies, which it's all tied together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you look at California, that's a good prime example where they had net metering. It was called NIM. So they changed their structure to allow families, if they have solar, they have a fee attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you're right. They're tightening the reins because they're losing control. And that's why, it is a power play at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's a necessary thing to have a necessary thing. But yes, there is a huge controlled dynamic there.
So what's your advice for the consumer?
The consumer is look, the best analogy I have for you is all of you have a smartphone and you probably used to have a little brick or a phone that was, what are those called? The flip phones, right? We all adapted over time because things changed. Just like if I were to buy a mower today, I'm going to see probably more electric mowers than gas powered.
Yeah.
Times are changing whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a new mower this year and it's battery.
See?
I'm
see?
serious. Like,
So,
I just recharge
That's
it.
what I'm saying is you're either with the times or against it. And unfortunately, guys, we see robots that are coming out right now that have the ability to flip eggs. You
Yeah.
know, it's like,
Yeah. I saw one on Whistling Diesel's podcast. And if you haven't watched Whistling Diesel, he is super entertaining.
that's- yeah.
He's an entertaining fellow, but he has a little robot
But-
in there and it's trying to cook and it's like knocking the pan down.
I'm just saying, like, I give it what it is. There's things are changing and adapting, but here's the thing is, if you're noticing, there is a constant trend of historical patterns and solar's not going anywhere. The policies are just changing and it is going to be regulated for the reps. So if any reps are in the solar space, the commissions aren't going to be what they used to be.
Yeah. And honestly, so I play both sides of the fence on that. And this was a question when we were dabbling in solar some.
Yeah.
It was a question I always had. I was like, for the consumer, we were seeing some of the commissions and things. And that's just on the rep side and the leader side. Then you have the company side, because I run a company too. So the money, everybody has to get paid.
Everybody, yeah.
And when you have these massive commissions going out, my fear is the consumer is the one that suffers there. So smaller commissions might not necessarily be a bad thing. The problem is, obviously, the people out door knocking, it's a lot of energy and time and effort,
Yeah.
and you're not guaranteed to make anything.
Correct.
So what do you think will fix the solar space for the consumer? Because obviously price is going to be massive.
Yes.
You have to be able to deliver a quality. Same thing with a roof.
Yeah.
You have a quality product delivered at a quality price, so where the consumer can, for solar they have to be able to save money, not, I mean, even just trading your bill. To me, if you're tapped into the grid and you're just trading bill for bill, for me that doesn't necessarily seem worth it.
Right.
Because your panels will fail, then you're gonna have to buy another system anyways.
Right.
And I feel like by the time the panels are paid off, they're faulty.
In some cases,
so.
yeah. I mean, that's a pretty weighted conversation because it goes within the technological specs of what panels are being offered.
Right.
But I would definitely say, I mean, you're absolutely right. From a consumer standpoint, I guess my biggest thing for you, Anthony, is if you were to call Ameren today and say, Ameren, can you tell me what my power bill is going to be in the next 10 years? What are they going to tell you?
Yeah, it's gonna be higher. I mean, they probably won't tell you anything.
They won't tell you anything.
They're like, we don't know, but logically, everyone knows.
Right.
Inflation.
Bills go up.
But if you had a set contract amount that said, Anthony, this is what your bill is going to be, and you know for the next 25 years what that could look like for your family,
Yeah.
that's a different weight, right? So, yes, I would definitely say you're absolutely right. I would say with the solar space, what needs to happen, and it is happening, is regulation.
Yeah.
And these reps are no longer making, $2 to $1 a kilowatt. In some cases, they're only making, $3 to $4 to $5,000 commissions. But it all depends on which states you're operating in, because people do save money with TPO. I know that, and I see it every single day. So when it comes to the savings versus what's being put in the company's pocket, there is a space where the customer, if they're not saving money, it doesn't necessarily make sense.
Yeah.
But also too, for the rep, there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes to attract that business.
Yeah.
And they don't have marketing dollars. They're out there pounding pavement. So
He's over there moving around. It's like, what's he
making me
doing?
nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. So I believe like in the solar space and what it stands for and what you can do. The problem that we always see, and it's hard for the consumer too, because the consumer sees this. Companies pop up, sell some solar, go bankrupt,
Go away. Yeah.
and it's like a vicious cycle.
It is. Yeah.
So what I'm hoping is that we can escape that cycle at some point and make the consumer believe that, hey, these people out here selling good products,
Right.
and we're not going to get shafted, because it makes it hard for you as or not for you necessarily, but it makes it hard for reps to go out and sell a product when the consumer is so skeptical.
Oh, dude.
Like people aren't skeptical of roofs because it's like, hey, there's a roof, it's cool.
You gotta have it. You gotta have it.
Yeah. But you got to have power too.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
And I don't know the answer. I don't have the answer for it, but I'm like, how do we save that to where we can? Because if you can get to a point where the consumer believes in it,
Correct.
and you, as a sales rep or as an owner in the space, can say, hey, I believe in this, and hey, we can put a system in, and I know for 20 years that customer is going to be always taken care of.
Yeah.
I can stand behind that, and we have processes in place to take care of those and service those items. I think the space could be saved, and I think that consumer could really benefit.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the answer is to get us to that point to where it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you got to have solid companies in place that can back it up, that aren't going to go under at the first whiff of a problem.
Oh yeah. No.
And I see, even in the roofing space, there are some of the big roofing leaders, manufacturers that are starting to make solar.
Solar shingles.
Yeah. So we see solar shingles. So like we install Landmark shingles, and they have solar products.
Yep.
And we're starting to do a little research on that because we're like, hey, this is I don't even know how big of a company it is. It's billions of dollars,
Yeah.
Certain
obviously,
companies,
but
they're huge.
and they've been around for 100 years. So like if you get to where you can have a company like that has other products and can stand behind them and warranty these things if stuff hits the fan.
Yep.
And then you can have good installers and good ethical people.
Correct.
I think if the system could end up something like that, I think it could be saved in the consumer.
Yes.
But you're going to have to get past that barrier, because it'll be easier for you to sell too.
Yeah.
If you get to a point where the consumer believes in it, and they're like, hey, we're going to save money. We're going to be able to do this, this, and this. We know we can stand behind it. It'll get easier at the door
Oh yeah.
to sell that product.
Yeah, I think, you nailed it on the head. In the industry, the biggest thing is regulation that's coming down. We all see it. We all know it. And it is very apparent to where reps are not going to be making the commissions that they would before. But you're absolutely right. As far as from a technical standpoint, these panels are monitored, warranted, normally protected for 25 years with their own warranty specs. But you're right. There's a big hit on the industry right now with companies coming and going, and a lot of them, what they do is they see the money, they run quick, and then they disappear 2 years down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we get a lot of roofing companies that are like that too, especially like storm chasers.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're not there to warranty end of their work,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they're calling us, and we're having to like
Yeah.
charge them again. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. You know, we're wanting to set up companies, and as leaders, I feel like we're called to try to set companies that you can, you know, employ others and stay around.
Have a high standard.
Yeah,
of
you want to set the
operations,
standard, and you want to like, and that's what I, you know, when we had early talks, I was like, I want to, you know, I'm trying to be here for the long term.
100.
Like, I don't, you know, I'm cool if we can go out and make, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, quick money grab,
Right.
but that's not really what I'm
Sustainable.
after. Like, you know, I want to make money and I want my people to make money, but in the same sense, I want to know that we're taking care of our customer
Yes.
and that we can stand behind ethically and morally, we can stand behind what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And so that's my big push. And I think in the solar space, it's possible.
Yeah.
I think it's very possible.
Oh yeah. For
it's
me,
just trying to marry it all together.
yeah, I mean, for me, I've went from working with EPCs to doing my own thing to where now, I mean, now I'm just a broker.
Yeah, and you have Kingdom Power,
I have
right?
Kingdom
I don't even know
Power
if you
as well.
plugged that in yet.
No,
but-
I haven't. So
Tag.
But you got Kingdom Power. You have Kingdom Power.
Kingdom Power, Kingdom Shine. Yeah.
And you
anyways.
have Kingdom Shine, where you're now doing your your window washing
Yeah,
and
and
stuff.
I'd
and
love
you,
to get into that because
and you guys are still door knocking, right, for those leads?
100%, yeah.
So that's our kind of our next little segment.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk because
got
we
it.
don't do a lot of door knocking. You know,
love
we're dabbling. So that's kind of our next little push here.
Yeah,
So,
you're good.
So you said, you know, door knocking, you have to have thick skin, grow thick
Yes.
skin, I believe, and then if you want to grow character, what's it? Rise after losing everything.
Yeah.
I was trying to read like the exact thing you said.
He's like, what am I
You know,
asking?
if you want to grow character, rise
Where
after losing
am I?
everything. So what do you when you say that? Kind of like tell us what you're meaning behind that.
As
Like,
far
I
as-
mean, we kind of have an idea, but
Yeah, so
you know.
having thick skin with
Yeah.
doors,
Yeah.
you're it's rejection.
Yeah.
So you're shaping in on being told no, and just imagine this being told no 100 times a day from your wife,
Yeah.
saying you want something super simple.
Yeah.
Your character changes because now you're trying to pivot, and then you're going to either figure out if this is working or if there's something that you can do to get what you need.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
What do most people get wrong about door-to-door sales, you think?
I would honestly say, and it's valid. I mean, because I know it and I've seen it where some reps they they don't take the no
Yeah.
and they just keep going.
Yeah. They're like, no, I am going to sell you this.
And Trevor better hashtag. Anyway,
No, I don't want it.
No.
Yes, you do.
yeah.
You actually do. Actually.
Yeah. I've literally had, and for me, like, there's a time where, you know, when somebody, it's the same concept, palms up, palms down.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much body language that goes in with doors and it teaches you a lot, especially tonality, you know. If I'm talking to somebody and their hands are down like this or they're like this, I'm not going to go in for the kill and ask them for
Yeah,
their
they're not
business.
open.
They're
Yeah.
not open.
No.
But if they're down and they're loosey-goosey, then yeah, I'll throw it in there. But I would say with the door-to-door space is, yes, I mean, there's some reps that don't know when to pull back.
Yeah.
And that's where it makes it hard because if
Yeah.
you have the, well, this kid was on my door and he yelled at me and I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
Listen, that kid is surviving on ramen noodles and a prayer.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on right now. So,
Well, you see those videos, and they're amusing to watch. You know, people hitting doors. But the customer will come out and they'll be super confrontational.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they'll tell them no, and then some of the reps, like you said, they'll push it, and they'll even get argumentative with them.
oh,
And
yeah.
it's like, hey, brother, once you start arguing, once you separate from being on their side to just like
Yeah.
holding up your side, you've lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, you just got to
Yeah.
kind of
I would say
go to the next.
I would say to add to that, the argumentative state could come from a couple things. I think a lot of it is having passion and conviction for the product that you're offering.
which you should have.
And it's just like anything. If you're debating somebody on something, you're going to be passionate about it. But
Yeah.
there's a response that is appropriate, and there's a response that's not.
Yeah.
And when you're coming out as a solar bro and you're making these videos and making fun of customers where
Yeah.
you know you're ticking them off, like, don't rage bait people. Like,
Yeah, I
we're-
think that's mostly what those videos are.
they are. Yeah.
You see them. I mean, I see them so much. And
Yeah.
Some of it's quality though. Like
Yeah.
I do see some quality stuff where they video themselves at the doors.
Oh, yeah.
Offering value, being genuine,
Yeah.
showing how to not be pushy.
Yeah.
You know how to position your body, like those type of
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Um,
Tonality,
So you can bring
expression.
you can gain some value, but I would caution people to be careful when watching some of that stuff. 'cause
Oh, yeah.
you will not
because-
win in the long term.
You end up in a lawsuit.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, I mean, some of the positives of it, like with the door-to-door space. I mean, the reason why we shifted to Kingdom Shine, so not to get into that, but I will.
No, go ahead.
So Kingdom Power, obviously, we were on a blitz in Illinois. We were grinding, we were pushing hard, and then we found out that our financing that we were utilizing just depleted. It was just gone. So literally, we went from selling to where we just had to say, holy cow, we are not going to make any money next month and we have reps to feed. What can we do?
Yeah.
And that's where like, okay, we're going to do window cleaning.
Yeah.
There's glass all around us. There's opportunity, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I knew the model by creating leadership as far as skills within the door-to-door space, and Trevor obviously too. And we just taught the young ones how to pivot their business model. And because we did that, you know, we were bringing in the commissions was nowhere near what it was in solar, right?
Yeah.
But it still was a win because we were generating $10,000 of business a day going door to door.
Yeah.
When other people, we didn't throw a single dollar towards marketing.
Yeah.
So
We were able to pound pavement and just keep going for what we knew.
And that's something we're wanting to kind of shift to here in our company. And so, how can being in door-to-door sales help build a culture, or help a rep understand that like this is what is a great option for them as well? Like I know they kind of look at it as a negative thing sometimes because it's like a lot of work,
Yes.
but it's also rewarding. So how does that kind of help them, or how would you help? build that?
Man, I would definitely say like you have to have thick skin to be in the space as far as door to door, but you got to find that person that is not willing to settle.
Yeah.
And they're willing to push past those expectations and just I would just say just all the things that they want in life or they're trying to proceed. Like there's a reason why 18-year-olds make the kind of money they do on doors.
Yeah.
And it is good money.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but it also comes at a cost. You have to grow. So I would definitely say like the door-to-door space will teach you leadership, but it also teaches people how to elevate those around them.
Yeah.
And that's where leaders they rise in those occasions because they see, John, George, Bob, they're struggling right now in the doors. I want to help them because yes, I attracted business today. They did not.
Right.
You're able to see the dynamic of people that are willing to step in the trenches to say, hey, I'm going to help them get to where I am.
Yep.
And the door-to-door space teaches that.
I enjoy knocking doors. Some of the biggest sales I've ever had come from me just going and getting it by myself.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Like I was like, man, I landed a whole apartment complex just because I walked in and introduced myself and asked who I could talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, it was like a $980,000 job.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, well, this is great. And so for me, I'm like, well, I think just being who you are as a person and being genuine and just talking to people like they're human, because they are, and then do your thing. But what would you say? You talked about the scissor kick thing. What is one of the most memorable or craziest stories from door knocking? Is it the scissor kick, or has anybody been arrested?
No, yeah, we've had reps arrested. That's easy stuff. Yeah, that's nothing. I had this one situation where this guy, I was somewhere in like the midpoint of Illinois, like between Chicago and like Southern Illinois. I had this one guy that when I knocked on his door, he told me to come in to get his power bill, and I was going to sit down with him. He said, hey, let's run the appointment. So I walked into his house immediately. I felt a gut check. I knew something was going to happen. Like I just felt weird. I felt shifted. And he said, hey, we're going to go down to the basement. So
wait a second.
I'm like, all right. But again,
I don't go to the basement on the first date.
but again, when you want to make the sale, you're like, dude, I got a KPI I got to hit. I got to do this, right? So for me, I did. I went to the basement. Well, lo and behold, as soon as I got down there, I sat down. This guy had clocks on every square inch of the wall, and they were all going at the same time. It was like,
You got in perfect unison.
dude, it was insane. So he left me there for about 7 minutes while he was upstairs. So I'm literally sitting in this chair, this moldy basement.
Bro's putting you in a trance.
He's trying to hypnotize you, bro.
Like, I'm looking around, and the next thing I look, and I see all these like little black figures that are like all around because like the lights are like dim, and there were all these like mannequins that were like mangled, and they had like their hands and fingers.
Oh no,
dude, it was crazy. So I'm already in the basement, so I'm just like, okay, like something's about
Call
to
for
go
backup!
down. Yeah. It puts the lotion on the skin. That's what I'm sitting there thinking.
the door just closes. You hear the little bolt.
Dude.
You hear it locked.
Yeah, and next you know, he comes down and he starts walking down, and I just get up because I'm like, I cannot be here. And pretty much he was like, you're going to sit down and you're going to tell me what you have.
Oh my
And
gosh.
literally, it was the scariest moment because I was like, I can punch this guy and knock him out and run, or I can get the sale and just be done. It's like I just had mixed emotions because then he started opening up, and then he was super friendly. And then finally, like at the end of it, the dude gave me a 12 gauge shotgun.
What? the
What?
heck?
Yes. He's like, You had the time to listen to me. You had the time. You sat down here. He's like, and I asked him. I said, look, sir, can I be honest? And I just told him, I said, look, I'm in a moldy basement surrounded by clocks and mannequins that are misfigured. Can you just put yourself in my perspective on this? And he's like, I tried to have some other people come here before and tell me about this, but you were the one that actually sat to talk to me.
Well,
I can see
yeah. Why
why.
would you take me to your basement where there's mannequins?
That
like,
gun's
you know?
actually a murder weapon. And
I was
he
gonna
took
say
the
that gun's
evidence?
actually hot. You might need to like
we
check
got-
that serial number.
We got all the way down
There's
to
no
the
serial number. It's gone.
Yeah, scratch out.
We got down to the numbers, ready for approval. Freaking credit fail.
Yes.
But I
through all
got a
that.
12 gauge shotgun at it. So
Like, where's the
yeah,
gun?
that was a really crazy one. But yeah, being scissor kicked, I've had reps arrested. I've had reps spit at. I've had girl reps being taken into houses and almost like crazy things.
Oh,
right? Like
gosh.
there's been a lot. The door-to-door space will teach you a lot about it.
So when you guys door knock, are you in tandem? Are you doing it like when you do your blitzes?
Yeah, so
technically?
blitzes, yes.
Yeah.
We do not have. So if we had a girl
I was
door
gonna say,
knocking,
especially because a girl. Yeah,
never. We will
Okay.
not have her
Yeah.
alone.
Okay.
She's going to have somebody by her side.
I think they could find. I've always heard that female like reps and stuff find great success though.
I think they're
I think
amazing.
women in sales and just any field are they kill it most of the time.
Dude,
you
yeah.
know?
I mean, if they're willing to go, because a lot of women sometimes are more emotional, which is fine. That's what
Yeah.
God made them. But some of them, they're willing to not take the no, but they're willing to have that sweet, just the presence of just tonality and expression to
Yeah.
where the average male would not open up to another male
Yeah.
just because. And then for her, she's able to get in and get the appointment.
My favorite thing about when women are in sales is when they truly know what they're selling, like the back of their hand, and the dude that they're selling it to tries to like think he knows more, and it's like, bro, she just schooled you. Like, come on, like, she knows way more than what you even think.
Absolutely.
So for like new reps, how do they push through rejection?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would definitely say you are the product of what you surround yourself with, but also what you put in you. So I would, if I had a new rep that was struggling, I would say, what are you listening to?
Yeah.
What are you responding to? And how are you treating your downtime?
Yeah.
If you are just going in and you're just kind of going in this whimsical and you really don't have a goal to hit, you're just going to be going in circles.
Yeah.
So I would definitely get them a podcast, a good book, and just give them a good key of cadence of something that they can build themselves up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we used to never really have goals here until you started saying that you guys had KPIs and solar. And then last year in January, I wrote it. It's still on my board in my office, but we have so many that we need to sell per rep, per day, per month, per week, per year. And so,
breaking that
and
down.
we for a while there, we were ahead of pace, and then, now it's slowing down, but it's winter. But
It's wintertime.
yeah. So, like I said, we are going to be looking for somebody to hire to do door to door.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are some qualities in that person that you think that you definitely want to find when you look for a rep?
Yeah, that's a good one because I have had the ability of helping over hundreds and hundreds of reps and learning different personalities and see who have good fits.
Yeah.
Sometimes you would think that person that doesn't seem like much in the interview, they come out ahead of some of the people that come in with a big chest and saying, hey, they could do a lot, right? So
I always get a little leery when someone's like puts themselves too high up on a
you're
pedestal.
absolutely right.
I was like, wait a second, because I don't even do that. I run the company, I humble myself.
100%.
And I know that I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And I will always live by that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's stuff that I need to learn.
I would say if you're looking for somebody, you got to find the humble-hearted,
Yeah.
but also to the hungry.
Yeah.
If they're not hungry, they're not going to do it.
Right.
You know, I have been self-employed for 10 years, and I have loved that journey. But there is a determination, a heart's fire that has to be there, and if it's not, they are not meant for the space.
Yeah. Very, very internally driven.
Yeah.
You have to want it. So,
Yeah.
what would you say separates an average rep door knocker to an elite?
Elite.
Yeah.
I would say average is just going through the motions.
Yeah.
You're
Just hitting
not.
doors
You're just
and-
hitting doors. You're getting paid, but
Yeah.
you're not really breaking goals.
Yeah.
And as far as elite, you're dialed in.
Yeah.
You know, when you wake up to the time you're going to get on doors, to how many interactions you're going to get for the day, how many conversations are going to say yes, and then ultimately keep following that path. You're going to have a downline. And then that's where you make some really good amount of income. I'd say the average rep, typically in the door-to-door space, is normally about 125,000 a year.
Yeah.
Typical.
And the elites are up
elites-
of 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking, good money.
Yeah.
Yeah, even in like the roofing space, I see, I follow a lot of people. And like I said, our market's a little different,
Yeah.
but we have soft doors here.
Yeah.
People
Whoa.
aren't hitting doors down here like they are in the
We are
bigger cities.
blessed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know, and we've known it for a while, that that's kind of our next ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have fear surrounding knocking doors because we're a local company.
Mhm.
So the last thing that we ever want to do is
People come at you.
yes, we don't want our neighbors and our our community to come after us and say, hey, these are pushy salesmen out here just trying to make a dollar.
Mhm.
So we're trying to marry those two and say, hey, we're here just to help.
Mhm.
I know I said it on the last podcast. We're here to make a friend and help a friend.
Yeah.
So we want to
like that.
maintain that, but also get sales. So it's like
I get it.
it's a double-edged sword there
mean-
because it's like we're trying to we're trying to boost business.
Yeah.
We're trying to put more money in our reps' pockets. We know that there's companies and reps out there making $200,000, $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
Taking company leads, hitting their own doors. If you're intentional with your time,
Yep.
it's possible.
Yeah.
So that's what we're pushing.
It is.
Yeah.
And I would say what you guys are doing is amazing because there's a lot of solar companies and other roofing companies, just so you know, that blitz and come down here and they don't care about the customer. They will sell, they'll knock doors, even if the cops are telling them no, they're going to continue to do that.
Yep.
We've had that.
Yep. So you guys are at least willing to say, hey, we are brick and mortar. We're here. This is home.
Yeah.
And we want to respect home, but also, too, you want to generate business.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why I think it's very important. I know the city of Cape, there's not really permits you can pull to have door knocking
Yeah.
teams.
Or Jackson.
Or
yeah.
Jackson. And if anybody is listening to this, just so you know, I mean that's good universally for us as business owners, but also too, there's a lot of opportunity that's missed.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I agree. And for us, we have so much marketing dollars that go out every month. I think if you have a few guys who are a team of guys who are willing to go do it,
yeah.
I mean, you could almost cut your marketing probably in half.
Oh, I've
you know,
seen
just
that.
because
Yeah.
and we know that for a fact. We've talked to other roofing companies that are 2 hours north of us, and they literally hired a team of guys, and now they don't pay hardly any marketing dollars, and their numbers have quadrupled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
know?
me personally, I would rather take that $200,000 that I'm paying to these companies that aren't even local to market for me, and I'd rather give that up to our people.
Yeah, just
Oh,
invest
yeah.
back into the company and to our people.
Not saying $200,000 is exactly what I spend, but
But it's a lot. I can
our
promise you that.
competitors are out there like, how much exactly?
So
Who's your marketing agency?
So over the years being in the being in the door-to-door space,
Yes.
what is one important thing that you've taken away from having conversations with people?
Listening to them directly.
Yeah, I've always been told, don't ever judge a book by its cover or sell out of your pocket. Have you heard of
yeah.
sell out of your
Oh,
pocket
yeah.
type of thing?
Yeah.
So
And I could tell you countless experiences I've had of people that I judge them very quickly on the doors. You look in, you smell the cat urine, you see the trash laying around, you're like, yeah, this is a waste of my time. And
Yeah.
the next they roll up and they have good money.
800 credit score.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh man.
I just have poor cleaning skills.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hygiene.
some very successful people, and I'm not super. I've gotten better as through the years. I've gotten to where I'm more organized with stuff.
I can tell.
But man, when I was in like high school and I was valedictorian and all of that, but I was so
dude.
unorganized. I had crap everywhere. My room, I never made my bed. My room was trash. Not saying these are good things.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that stuff I've worked on personally over the years. I'm like intentional, like, okay, don't leave your clothes in the lot.
Yeah, dude, there's some broccoli
leave your
head that
clothes
might
on the
listen to
floor.
this and is like, gosh, yeah. You know? It's just like, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I always, how you handle yourself outside of work is kind of like an internal reflection.
Yeah.
So for me, especially if I'm getting in business mode and there's a lot of mess or clutter, I cannot operate. I don't know what it is. I just have to have clean and organization. But I'm not like a neat freak to where I'm like, it goes there.
Oh, that's me.
You're into neat
I
freak.
mow lines in my yard. Like my truck, I probably wash 3 times a week. You could probably eat off my hardwood floor at any time.
Yep.
Like I am just a neat freak, and I don't know
love
why, but
I love it.
I just like it.
Yeah, so
I
that
think
tells me. I mean, you're
know.
you're probably more admin oriented than
Yeah.
compared to what Anthony. Was.
Yeah, he's the creative one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have the ideas.
See, and that's beautiful because you guys
Yeah.
wear 2 separate.
and
hats
honestly, we've
ecosystem.
never butted heads.
Not a whole lot.
Not
no.
ever. I mean, maybe on some joking stuff. or who shoots bigger deer, but
Yeah.
Not me.
Come to my backyard. You'll be just fine.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
Hey,
Jared
it's
Ritter,
good
if you're listening, I sent you a DM. Did you see his story?
Oh, man,
He had
he
a
has
bug like
big
rubbing a
old-
tree in his backyard. I was like, I can come get that for you.
Oh, dude.
Hey, there was one lady that like went like short-term famous because she had such a NK. She was on
Yeah.
KVS 12. A massive buck in the backyard. It was
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one where she opened the door and it was
Yeah.
just right there? Yeah.
See, dude,
Here you go, monster.
I mean, you guys see my house.
Oh,
I think.
yeah, your neighborhood's insane.
Dude, it's insane. Like, I have a little water.
Watch my
fountain
TikTok.
thing. Yeah.
It's all your neighborhood.
Yeah. So my fountain, those deers come every night and they
Yeah.
drink from it. I just think about grabbing a string and just like locking them in there and just
You're mine now.
be the first person.
Wait, you don't have 2 acres, do you?
No.
You know who does?
all
Your
those-
neighbor.
I
And
know.
I've got permission to hunt that.
I know.
I have
Yeah.
written permission to hunt
See all
that.
these AI? I see these AI videos of people like jumping from their stand on top of deer. And, like,
That'd be Caleb.
Caleb's gonna do it like for real.
Bro, no. I'll be,
And he's going back old school. He's got an
airsoft.
arroed.
Every-
He doesn't even
every-
have a knife.
Bro, that'd be.
Or he's got a
Everything is
slingshot
AI.
out
Can
there
you
with a
imagine?
rock.
Just break it. Yeah. Just, yeah, that'd be.
You're gonna
quite-
scissor kick that deer.
Just scissor kick
We're
it.
gonna do the.
Yeah.
We're gonna go garage and learn
That's
karate.
funny. Well, to pivot a little bit because I know we have other stuff. Let's
Yeah.
get off the doors a little.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You have a couple other exciting things going on, and we've been watching it happen
Yeah.
in real time on like TikTok and some
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So let's talk, a little deeper. Your music, some faith, and
Yeah.
kind of like what your message is through those mediums.
All of it.
So you have Poetry on Fire, right?
Yes.
What is that? And tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
it.
so Poetry on Fire was a passion project. So a lot of you guys know, I mean, Anthony, you were there during my first show.
Oh yeah, dude! I remember in high school. I still remember this to this day. We were, and I don't remember who the principal was at the time, but you guys came out. I think it was maybe the talent show or something. You had like you, Evan,
Yeah.
some other people.
Jesse, I think.
Yeah, Jesse. You
yeah.
guys were out there just going crazy. You're singing.
Shout out.
Evan's back there on the drums, just going insane,
Yeah.
and they cut the mics. They went over
Mid
there.
concert.
They did.
Yeah,
Oh,
they went over their time, so the principal came out and was like, he's like telling them to stop,
Yeah,
and these guys are just like, we're not stopping.
Dude, it was
And they just
crazy.
kept going. It was awesome.
Yeah,
that was an
they-
awesome moment.
Yeah, and we found out that day there was kids crying because our music was too loud. I knew right there.
What
I'm a
type of
rock
music
star.
was it? Is it like screamo?
Oh, it was hard.
Oh
rock.
yeah.
So
they were
did you know
going
like
in.
Jacob Bond from Advance
Oh, I know
and like
Jacob.
Quentin Stevens from
Yeah, I know
Bernie?
all those
You know
guys.
Quentin?
Yeah.
So I played college baseball with Quentin, and I had no idea he could scream.
Yeah.
And he was like in his dorm one day, and I heard this noise. I was like, "Q, what are you doing in there?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm practicing." I'm like,
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
but it was good. I was like, "Wow, okay."
Yeah, there's.
But
that's so great.
but
man.
like but then you hear people sing like acoustic guitar, like after
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, man, he can actually sing.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
holy crap. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of talent around here.
Yeah.
And I guess like to add to that, so Poetry on Fire was a passion project for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I love music, always have. I'm very creative on it. I do not have the ability that I used to because of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to be out there touring, playing shows.
Yeah.
Again, that is like if you want to see Caleb at his prime, like my fire, like
Dude, I'm telling you, if the TikTok, I've seen so many artists. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was just thinking, like in
Yeah.
real time, I have seen because I like music too. I can't sing at all. Like that's not me. But I love music.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit there and listen to people sing. Like I'll be on TikTok and I'll just listen to people.
Yeah.
And it just moves me a certain way.
Yeah.
It just
It's
I get
creative.
It's emotional.
it's your creative ability.
Yeah, so I
and you-
love that.
so-
And I've seen people come on and they have one TikTok that blows up, and the next thing you know, they're on tour with one of these famous artists coming out on stage, and like, so we're in a space now to where you don't necessarily have to be, like, you can be even some of the, like your talent can show through social media. You don't have to have some big agency behind you.
No, yeah.
Like someone like yourself, all it takes is because you're building momentum.
Yeah.
We see it.
Yeah.
So maybe that might be you one
Dude,
day.
I mean, my first video that went out there, see, and and some of you guys know, I played with bands that I used to listen to, like skateboarding as a kid. Like I
Yeah.
got to share the stage with them.
Yeah.
And that was a huge shift for me to see that it was possible. And,
Yeah.
and then now here I am. It's like I wanted to get back to what I know that I'm good at. And then with the music itself, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's just that heart's fire of like, I may not have the time and commitment that I used to, but I still want to do it because it's me. And yes, I mean, I had one video, it did like over 130,000 views, the first one I posted, and now,
great. Nice.
up to 78,000 listens on Spotify. But that's not what does it for me. I mean, the comments and the text messages that I get, I have had people literally message me and say, "Hey, because of your music, I'm gonna make it."
Wow.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
no, that's awesome.
and
You know,
that's-
obviously you want to
Yeah.
you want to be successful, obviously.
Yeah.
But the reason behind the success, why you want so many people to view it, I would think is probably because of your message, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
talk about the message that you're trying to share
Yeah.
through your music.
Well, it's not even just through the music. If you notice, you surround yourself with things you love, and that's the reason why Kingdom Power, Kingdom Shine, it is ultimately His kingdom through me. You know, I believe wholeheartedly that God has put me on this earth to be a light in the darkness, and if that's through music, amazing. If it's through business, amazing.
Yeah.
I try to surround myself with those things. And just like, for instance, we'll get into as far as the vibe, like, I wanted to create an area of influence for kids because even though I can't be on the stage, I wanted to give them that opportunity to express their gifts and talents and abilities. So for me, everything goes whole-handedly. It goes full circle. Seek first the kingdom of God and all His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. So for me, I know we only have one life, one impact, one influence. I've been on the phone with people who have taken their lives, and I remember thinking back, I wish I would have just been with them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I didn't know. And I know you guys same too. And I think for me, there's just a big power shift of like, enough's enough.
Yeah.
If I can make influence and also make money in that process, great. But ultimately, where my heart is aligned is doing His work and His will.
Yeah.
And if that means me, hey, losing everything and starting again just to inspire another person, I'll do
Yeah.
it. That's my
Yeah.
heart. And everybody who has known me, I'm not shy about my faith.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very active and I'm very aggressive with that. But it's also come because I don't have a religion. I have a relationship with the Father.
Yeah.
And expressing that, I will express it through my gifts, my abilities, my businesses, because ultimately He is the one who has breathed life into that.
Yep.
And I want to be a good steward with what He's given.
And everybody has different ways of expressing that,
Yeah.
and helping other people. And like you said, maybe yours is music or business, but
Yep.
other people's might just be something different. And I think that's important. And one thing that's pretty consistent on this podcast is almost every entrepreneur we've brought on has talked about faith.
Faith. Yeah.
So I mean I mean if you listen to like a bunch of really rich people too, I mean faith. Dave Ramsey. I'm looking at his stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy religious, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great thing for all the
Yeah.
listeners out there.
I think there's a couple elements that go to that. Is just like I said, the scripture Deuteronomy 8:18. It is the Lord thy God who gives the ability to establish wealth, to confirm His covenant.
Yeah.
He is the one who gives us the abilities, whether we use it for good or evil or however personal. He is the one who's given us that.
Yeah.
So, we have been created to create.
Yeah.
And when we're not in that space, that's why entrepreneurs, a lot of them are very faith driven.
Yeah.
Because they have learned that their creativeness does not come from them; it comes from something that is greater.
Right. And I think a lot of us realize that our true wealth isn't here.
No, true.
This is all this will be left behind.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you're in heaven forever is your
Here today, gone tomorrow.
yeah. I mean,
man.
that's your everlasting life up there.
This
so.
this year's been wild. I mean, there's been
Yeah.
a lot of crazy things that have happened.
Mhm.
But most importantly, I think a lot of us are kind of eye-opening to the fact that we do have one life,
Yeah.
and we have one influence and one opportunity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we talk, on this show, we talk a lot of business, right? We talk money, we're talking business, but a lot of it all circles back to, building experiences.
Yeah.
And maybe not always worrying about the money as much and worrying more about impact and
oh, dude,
what we can get back and what will be left when we are
Come on,
gone.
man. Yeah, dude, that's my biggest heart's cry is to be able to look back and say, because and for me, like personally, like I know I'm a generational breaker. I see my family line. I love you, but I know where I am versus what they had to go through.
Yeah.
And I've made a promise to myself, my daughters will not see that side. My family, we want to pull them out. But there are people that have two different directions. You have some people that have a compass, and you have some people that have a map. I have a compass. I don't know where I'm going. It's dangerous. We're going through different obstacles in life, but I will be able to hold that and send that, give that map to my daughter and say, hey, this is what we learned by being a pioneer.
The blueprint.
The blueprint.
Blueprint.
Go through it. This is how you navigate, and it's something.
Beyond the blueprint.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the podcast. Yeah, let's go.
It is. Yeah.
Beyond. That's.
So,
I mean,
that's
that's
true.
literally.
Yeah.
You know, our inspiration. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Is building that blueprint for others.
Oh, dude.
I mean, so that's our whole message here, and I hope people watching, people listening can take that away.
Yeah.
It's like we are literally bringing on industry leaders like yourself
Yep.
and other folks in different, lines, and trying to set that path for people that are creative, people that want more, people that want to step out of that 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So that goes perfectly in line with what we got going.
love it.
So.
And I think if people are just thinking about like even taking the chance, just do it. I mean, because at some point in our lives, we've had to decide: do I open a business or do I not? And then it's earlier at the beginning of the conversation, like at the beginning of the podcast, you were talking about being an entrepreneur and stuff, and I wanted to say like the people who doubt you the most in the beginning are probably your closest people, your family,
dude.
your relatives, your best friends. They're like, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does?
Yeah, Scripture says a prophet is not welcome in his own hometown. You know,
Yeah.
and granted that's a different context, but yeah, the business mindset, it's a lonely path.
Oh yeah.
It really is, because so many people, they'll see you outside and they'll judge you because it's like
Until
you're doing this and you're going for this, and there's something in them that innately does not want you to succeed. But on the other side, you have the owner saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And then when they see it, even if you get higher, they're still going to feel that way. You know, so you just got to have to separate those emotions.
Yeah.
I've caught myself doing that too, so like I watch the creative types on like TikTok and Instagram. You watch these things, you watch the content, and I'm not even saying it's good to spend all your time doing that, but I do that, and then I've seen people creating that content like in real life, and I'm like looking, I'm like, what in the world are they doing? But then I sit there and think, I'm like, wait a second, these are the people like this person that I just judged.
Yeah.
These are the people that I watch.
Yeah.
Like these are the people sharing their message, whatever that message is.
Yeah.
These are the ones I'm taking my information from. So who am I to judge? But it's easy to do that when you're close, when you have close proximity.
Oh yeah.
You want to judge, but I think it's good to take a step back and really think like, these are the type of people that are willing to do it in front of you, even when they're facing that judgment. Those are the type of people you kind of want to be around.
Oh yeah, dude.
And those are the ones that are setting the blueprint.
Yeah.
So anyway, I keep tagging that in there. You're talking about business.
Yes.
So Poetry on Fire, you have that.
Yes.
And you guys you're tying that in with another business, right? Kind of?
Kind of, yeah.
So talk about that.
I have always
It's local.
had-
It's very local.
Very
So
local.
This is,
Yep, it's coming.
let's plug it in here.
We, so me and my wife, we have a huge heart and focus for youth. We always have.
Yeah.
But also too, for me, creative expression. So we wanted to be able to create an outlet and give a safe place for adults and young adults to be able to be that without having any alcohol or anything involved.
Yeah.
So with the Vibe, that's what it is. It's a restaurant by day and a music venue by night. My wife has a huge focus on bringing healthy cuisine and healthy foods to the area, but also too, I have a huge heartbeat behind creative people and being able to give musicians a place to have live concerts and events here. So, yes. So for me, that is a really big, for me, that's my heart's fire, because I know that there's going to be some kid up there rapping about, I hate to say it, probably butts and boobs.
Yeah.
But on the inside, he is going to be impacted, because me and Haley, what we believe for the Vibe is we are going to create a safe place for creative people. And ultimately, the creator is the one who's given those gifts.
Yeah.
So they will eventually open up, and obviously, hopefully, it'll change their life.
Yeah. Where's that? So where's the Vibe located? Because I know you guys have been.
Yeah. So we're right there, right beside Discovery Playhouse.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep,
We take our kiddos there sometimes.
Yep. So we're going to be right there. And
have you opened
obviously-
yet or no?
No, we're still in construction
Yeah, like
right now. We're wanting to be hopefully operational by summertime.
Yeah.
Coming forward, that's what we're pushing for.
Yeah.
But again, we're still working with permits, city of Kaleb.
Oh yeah.
That's
Good
the
luck
fun.
with that.
That's the fun part.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we know it's going to happen in God's timing. And if
Yeah.
anybody has a heartbeat behind that, please find me on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to connect with you.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to suggest. If you're in the creative space, if you like music,
Yes.
obviously they should reach out to you.
100%.
Yeah.
And try to put themselves on that platform.
Yes. Love that.
And I'm assuming are you gonna be sharing some of their some of your talent that comes on? Are you gonna share it on on your Poetry on Fire
yeah,
page?
absolutely. Yeah.
That'd be great.
That's the
That'd be good.
thing. Like, yeah,
So that'll get them some great exposure. Too.
absolutely. I have musicians that are reaching out to me every other day asking, "Hey, I would love to get a show with you going." And to be able to bring musicians like that of high caliber here in the heartland,
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting.
That'd be really cool.
Yep. And there's going to be a
That
skate
is
park
awesome.
on the third phase built in the back, but that's neither here nor there.
I'll tell you what. So I know you did skating a lot
Mm-hmm.
when we were. Do you still skate? I'm assuming you still do a little bit.
do.
Yeah. I could never get that.
Every now and then.
I never could I ever. My body doesn't work that way. I've tried, and
Yeah.
I failed, and
Yeah.
I've had some shins broken.
I'll ride my
Not broken,
my
but
scooter.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing I could never do. I tried to skate a little, and I was like, "This is not my jam."
This is not made for me.
You get up on that, you get up on the little ramp, like, no.
No.
Yeah.
I'll stick to my dirt bike.
I'll tell you what was hard as a kid was those 4-blade rollerblades with the
Oh,
brake in the
yeah.
front. Who puts a brake in the front?
Yeah.
Now
Awful
listen,
idea.
Those are crazy.
Listen, business idea. We need another roller rink here in Cape.
Oh, that would be
bro.
awesome.
Double down. Yeah.
Dude,
And then we
So
could
if
start like
everybody
the,
wants to
the
go in
team that
together on a
dances
roller
to it
rink.
as they're going, you know?
Yeah. We'll call it Roller King.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, rollerblading is coming back. I've been seeing a lot of videos
Yeah,
of
dude.
people just vibing and like.
I'll be honest with you. I'm one of them.
I like
I
it.
think I want to get them. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's good
Well, hey, we're
stuff.
looking forward to the vibe. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
checking that out.
Yeah,
And
me too.
Yeah.
Your music has been. I mean, obviously it's awesome. So
Yeah, I appreciate
it's
that.
awesome. So
Yeah.
I think we're kind of getting. There's a fire hose there, getting everything
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
but
so-
I think we're
Yeah.
gonna try to wrap her up a little bit here.
Yeah, sounds
Um,
good.
Yeah.
I guess yeah. Like before we wrap up, sorry, I thought you were still gonna go. Before we
still
wrap
a
up,
little
No, go ahead,
yeah,
brother.
Yeah, before we wrap up, what do you say, or what do you think would be the hardest lesson you learned from failure?
Oof.
Because I mean,
We always try to
it
do
is
some-
it
we
is
try to
a
do some
lesson to me because like you don't necessarily fail, you learn. So
Yes.
I mean, yes, you fail, but you still learn from that experience. So.
Yeah, I would definitely say the biggest message of failure is fruit will follow fruit. And what I mean by that is as painful as it is, there is always opportunity
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah.
So that's why you look at multiple people that have had businesses, and some of those businesses were birthed out of pains of being let go or having to figure out how to make ends meet. So I would say failing
Yeah.
is actually a huge part of that process. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you want people to remember about your story, especially those who maybe were successful and then had to start over and rebuild from,
Yeah,
you
that's,
know,
that's a good one.
restart,
Man.
basically?
Did ChatGPT give you that one?
No, no. I typed all of these.
Yeah. Man, so I would say the biggest part is influence and impact. And knowing that you look at any business around you,
Yeah.
they have a story.
Oh yeah.
There's something behind the scenes that you didn't see. There's a wife that left the husband that didn't, she didn't agree with the thing, and he just kept going, and then they had to file bankruptcy, and they had to get out of it, and now here's the business, right?
Yeah.
There is always opposition, but there's always opportunity on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And I think they need to see that. I'm sure even Daniel has a story.
Yeah, we learned last week the original name for Daniel's roofing was a Dolphin Roofing down in Florida.
Yeah.
So it was a crazy story. I didn't even know that. I was like, what in
Yeah.
the world?
So I would just say, like, especially just entrepreneurs and business-minded people, it's like, it is a hard place to be, but it is such a rewarding place to be when you figure it out.
Yeah.
And I still haven't figured it out.
I think today you figure it out as the day you're probably done.
You're
I think and if you're
passing
learning
the
something,
torch on to the next, brother.
Yeah.
So I would say, as far as that question though, as far as being able to have impact,
Yeah.
that is my heart's cry.
Yeah.
For people to know that I wasn't just a name, that I was somebody that inspired them to be better.
Yeah. There's a lot of success stories of people going from here to here and then passing back where they were before they failed.
Yeah, dude.
A lot.
I can tell you that with confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's one of the big fears that I have. And I was talking with my wife about that too the other day. I was like, especially I think when you come from a poor background and then you build that wealth and you get these things like your home and your vehicles and your kids are in, whatever. You have all these not liabilities, but you have all these obligations.
All these tax credits.
yeah. Not liabilities. You have all these obligations and you get to where you're
I
like,
love them dearly.
yeah.
I get it, bro.
But you get yourself up onto this mountain and then you realize it's kind of fragile. It's a fragile mountain you
Dude,
stand on.
Yes.
And my biggest fear is that one day all of that could be
Yep.
pulled.
Well,
And that's something that freaks me out.
I will
honestly.
tell you with confidence, man. Like, if it wasn't for me losing everything, like, there's a lot of insecurity and there's a lot of growth that came from just letting go. And for you, like, I just challenge you with that. Like, there may be a time, Anthony, where you're not in control.
Yeah.
And dude, you have to be okay with that.
Yeah. It's
Because
hard.
It's a part of the process.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah.
Well, man, I tell you what, this is it's been honestly awesome.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
appreciate
You know,
it.
you have a lot of powerful insight, and
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on.
Use a lot of big words.
Big
He
words,
does. He's too
do
big-
big
too-
things. That's my ADHD brain.
Yeah, but man, we've heard about some of your ups and downs. I know
Yeah.
you're on a great path. Obviously, you know, Kingdom Shine, Poetry on Fire. Those are Kingdom Power. You got a lot of great things on the
Yeah.
horizon. Vibe, obviously.
Yep.
So, anyways, how can people connect with you?
Yeah. Well, for the music, you can always find me on Spotify, just Poetry on Fire. Or if you have anything like Pandora, I'm on all music platforms. So I'm sure you'll find some pretty awesome things. I have 3 new tracks that are going to be dropping here by November 15th. If you're fans of Red, I think you'll really like my stuff. Or if you want some heavier stuff, it's out there. I would say from a business or personal standpoint, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook, Kaleb Lee Webb 09. Or Kaleb Lee Webb on Facebook. And if you have any heart behind any of the ministries that, because I do feel like they are ministries for me, that I am a part of or that I'm doing, please connect with me. I would love to hear your story and to see if there's any impact or any involvement you can put into these projects to help elevate our community.
Awesome, brother. Well, hey, I'm happy that we're able to bring you on and get you in front of the people.
Yep.
I want to take a quick second to plug in our next guest.
Yep.
Who's our next guest, Grant? You got it today?
I just came back from vacation, so
Come
I
on,
don't.
man.
I don't have it today.
Oh my gosh, who we got next week? So next week, we have Mr. Jared Ritter coming on.
Heck
So
yeah.
Let's go. So he's heavy into the real estate. He's painting the town purple, as he says.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
But super bright. You know, he's
That's kind of weird. Bright Blazer Broker.
the triple B. So we're bringing him on next week. So make sure to stay tuned. It'll be 11 o'clock next Thursday.
Yep.
And again, thank you, Kaleb, for coming on. Everybody tune in to Roof Talk. Make sure to like and subscribe for the next one. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.